Welcome to today's journey, a journey that might just change the way you see language learning forever. Imagine discovering a secret method that makes mastering English easy, exciting, and achievable. Sounds impossible? Well, let me tell you, nothing is impossible when you have the right mindset and the right tools. Today, we bring you the story of a young boy, Ryan, who found an ancient diary filled with secrets to learning languages. His journey will show you that no matter where you start, with determination, consistency, and the right guidance, you can achieve fluency. Are you ready to take the first step toward mastering English with us? Let's dive in. Lesson 1. We need languages for communication. Language is a bridge, not just of words, but of understanding. The first page of the diary read, "The power of language is the power to connect." Ryan realized that learning a language wasn't just about words. It was about people. It was the key to understanding the travelers who visited his shop and learning their stories. By knowing their languages, Ryan could open a door to new cultures and perspectives. He began with simple greetings, discovering that even the most basic interactions brought smiles and sparked conversations. Learning a language was his chance to share stories, exchange ideas, and connect with people who were once strangers. Every new word, no matter how small, was a step closer to his goal. It was not just a skill, it was a tool for building relationships and understanding different cultures. For Ryan, this realization was the beginning of his transformative journey. He started by greeting travelers with simple phrases, and slowly they began sharing deeper parts of their cultures. The way people spoke, their gestures, the pauses they took, all these aspects of communication fascinated him. Language wasn't just a tool for conveying information, it was the essence of their being, the pulse of their culture. As Ryan immersed himself more, he found that each new word unlocked a story. He could now understand the context behind the words, hear the emotion in their voices, and recognize the wisdom passed through generations. This deeper connection to the traveler's world made him more eager to learn. Language, Ryan understood, was a gateway to the heart of every person. Lesson 2. How to learn words. Words are not just memorized, they are experienced. Elias Vent's diary advised, do not learn words in isolation. Connect them to images, sounds, and emotions. Ryan began by labeling objects in his shop with their new names. He wrote book in one language, livro in another, and kitab in yet another. Every time he touched a book, he whispered its name in different languages. Instead of just memorizing lists, Ryan began to experience words in context. He used them while engaging with objects, recalling their meaning naturally. The more he connected words to real-life scenarios, the easier they became to remember. Soon he found that his vocabulary expanded effortlessly. He realized that when you create associations with things you already know, learning becomes a natural process rather than a task. His shop was now filled with languages, each one telling its own unique story. Every word, whether it was common or obscure, held its own personality. Words had energy. They shaped the way people perceived the world and the way Ryan perceived them. He understood that words were living things, constantly evolving, connecting, and interacting with the world. By learning words in context, Ryan began seeing how they fit together in a sentence. It wasn't about a word on its own. It was about the relationships between words, how they interacted to create meaning. Every word he learned became part of a larger puzzle. His approach to learning words was no longer just about rote memorization. It was about becoming part of a living conversation. Words were no longer separate entities. They became a thread connecting him to the broader tapestry of human expression. Lesson 3. How to learn pronunciation. Speak without fear. Your tongue will find its way. Ryan found a new page in the diary. Listen before you speak. Imitate before you understand. He started listening to travelers carefully, noting how their lips moved, how their voices rose and fell. He repeated words under his breath, whispering until they felt natural. At first, he stumbled. People laughed, but he smiled and kept going. Every mistake, every mispronunciation was a lesson. Over time, his speech became clearer and more accurate. He learned that pronunciation wasn't about perfection. It was about practice and persistence. By listening actively, imitating, and not being afraid to make mistakes, Ryan gradually became comfortable with the sounds and rhythms of new languages. But pronunciation was more than just imitating the sounds. It was about understanding the subtle differences in tone, rhythm, and stress that could completely change the meaning of a word. Ryan practiced these nuances by repeating phrases until they became second nature. He also found that practicing in front of a mirror helped him understand how his mouth moved when he spoke different words. He could see and feel how the pronunciation changed when he adjusted his tongue or lips. This physical awareness was key to refining his skills. Ryan realized that pronunciation wasn't just about learning sounds. It was about feeling them, about being in tune with the language's unique rhythm. It took time, but soon he could speak with clarity and confidence, no longer afraid of making mistakes. Lesson 4. How to practice speaking. The best way to learn a language is to use it. The diary instructed, speak to someone every day. Do not wait for perfection. Ryan began greeting travelers in their own languages. Some corrected him, some laughed, but most appreciated his effort. With every conversation, he became more confident. He realized that speaking wasn't just a skill to develop. It was a necessity for growth. It didn't matter if he made mistakes. What mattered was his willingness to try. Each conversation was a small victory, a confirmation that he was moving forward. Slowly, he learned to embrace the discomfort of speaking in a new language. The more he practiced, the more confident he became. Eventually, speaking fluently felt natural. Every interaction was a chance to improve. Even when he spoke poorly, the act of speaking was a step forward. As Ryan spoke more, he discovered that language was not just about vocabulary and grammar, but about rhythm, tone, and expression. It was about creating meaning through sound and emotion. Soon, he began looking forward to conversations. Each one brought him new insights, not just into the language, but into the personalities and experiences of the people around him. Speaking became not just a learning tool, but a window into the lives of others. Lesson 5. How to learn grammar. Grammar is the skeleton, but words are the flesh. Ryan struggled with sentence structures, so he turned to the diary. Do not fear grammar. Listen to how people speak, then imitate them. He wrote down common phrases he heard in the shop and repeated them. Slowly, the sentences started making sense. He learned that grammar wasn't about memorizing complex rules, but understanding the patterns that shaped conversations. By listening to native speakers, Ryan began to understand how sentences were structured naturally, and his own speech became more fluent. Ryan understood that grammar was important, but it was the words, the connections, and the flow of conversation that mattered most. With time, he learned to speak with confidence, regardless of how complex the grammar seemed. He began noticing how people naturally constructed sentences without thinking about rules. Instead of memorizing abstract grammar principles, Ryan absorbed language patterns through exposure and practice. He mimicked native speakers, understanding that grammar was more about rhythm than rules. The diary had taught him that learning grammar didn't need to be difficult. It was about feeling the language, experiencing how words connected with each other in real conversation. Ryan's understanding of grammar became intuitive, and he was able to speak more freely without overthinking every sentence. Lesson 6: How to test your English. Testing is not about passing or failing, but about discovering what you still need to learn. Elias Venn suggested in his diary, set small challenges. Can you order food? Can you ask for directions? Can you tell a story? Ryan started challenging himself. One day, he helped a lost traveler find the city gate using his new words. It was a small victory, but to him, it felt like conquering a mountain. Testing himself didn't mean stressing over exams. It meant taking practical steps in real-life situations. Ryan began to see learning as a journey of self-discovery. Every time he used his new language skills, he grew more confident. Each challenge, whether it was ordering a meal or helping someone, tested his abilities and showed him where he needed to improve. Ryan found joy in these small tests, as each one brought him closer to his goal. With every test, Ryan became more self-aware. He started noticing the areas he struggled with and focused on improving them. These small tests became powerful feedback loops, guiding his growth. As he took more challenges, he realized that the best way to gauge progress wasn't through a formal test. It was through real-world use. The more he used his language, the clearer his improvement became. Summary: Ryan's journey with Elias Venn's diary was a powerful reminder that language learning is not just a set of technical skills. It's about connection, persistence, and growth. He started from a place of uncertainty, knowing only a few words. But with each lesson, he unlocked deeper understanding, both of language and of himself. Ryan's willingness to embrace mistakes, his commitment to daily practice, and his confidence in speaking all played pivotal roles in his development. Through the diary, Ryan discovered the beauty of language as a tool for human connection. He learned that language wasn't a solitary endeavor. It was about interacting, making mistakes, testing yourself, and building relationships. Ryan's journey was filled with challenges, but each one brought him closer to his dream of mastering a new language. As Ryan progressed, he understood that language learning wasn't a destination. It was an ongoing journey. Every word learned, every conversation had, was a step forward. Ryan's persistence and passion ultimately led him to fluency, not because he was gifted, but because he never stopped trying. His story teaches us all that with patience, curiosity, and a willingness to embrace challenges, we too can master any language. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey of language mastery. We hope that Ryan's story inspired you to keep learning, practicing, and growing. Remember, language learning is not about perfection. It's about connection, progress, and the courage to keep going. Every great speaker was once a beginner. Every fluent conversation started with a single word. The only difference between where you are now and where you want to be is consistent effort. Keep pushing forward, even when it feels tough, even when you make mistakes, because those mistakes are proof that you are learning, evolving, and improving every single day. The key to fluency isn't just learning, it's using what you learn. Speak without fear, practice daily, and trust in your ability to grow. You have everything it takes to become fluent in English. Start small, stay consistent, and celebrate every step you take. Your journey is unique, and every effort counts. If this story motivated you, let's keep the momentum going. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content on learning English and other languages. Now it's your turn. Drop a comment below. What's one step you'll take today to improve your English? Whether it's speaking with someone new, learning a few words, or simply listening more closely, commit to one action and watch yourself grow. Remember, the more you engage, the faster you'll improve. Keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and we'll see you in the next video.